Coming up tonight on YCN News, U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen meets with regional business and academic leaders at River Valley Community College in Claremont. A Claremont man is killed in a Sunday night fire. And YCN brings you an exclusive interview with Jim Lawrence, Republican challenger for U.S. Representative Ann McLean-Custer's seat. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Monday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. One of three Republican challengers for U.S. Representative Ann McLean-Custer's seat came to Claremont this morning. Jim Lawrence of Hudson stopped by the Java Cup, a popular downtown cafe. Later on in our newscast today, we bring you an exclusive interview with Jim Lawrence. Claremont continued to host political leaders today as U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen met with regional business and academic leaders at River Valley Community College in Claremont. The topic? Increasing on-the-job training through a college and business partnership. About 12 men and women from employers such as Sturm Ruger met with Senator Shaheen and college president Dr. Alicia Harvey-Smith this morning. The senator asked the college's Training and Career Advancement Grant Project coordinator, Kelly Rowe, how the school works with companies to train new and current employees. Rowe says the training program is geared to bring academic and soft or people skills to workers so they can learn quickly and succeed on the job. Bob Stillings created the program at River Valley, a program now led by Kelly Rowe. Companies can contact Rowe or her colleague Jim Britton to let them know what they need to hire and retain workers who can succeed. Success comes through people training for a new job, such as a service employee who wants to enter advanced manufacturing careers. Shaheen asked Britton how the training program is working, a program that has now prepared 503 individuals for work in the region and, by extension, state. Britton says the college is using it to prepare unemployed and underemployed residents of New Hampshire. A new apprenticeship program will begin at the college, too. Through a marketing tool by the city, Economic Development Director Nancy Merrill says companies who are thinking of locating to Claremont are made aware of training for workers. The training comes at no cost to employers. It is paid for by New Hampshire businesses. A purpose of this grant program is to allow residents to become skilled in the areas the country's employers say are lacking, namely engineering. Shortly before 9:30 p.m. last night, Claremont firefighters and other first responders were called to a home with smoke pouring out of it, a small home at 11 Warren Street. Warren Street is near Barnes Park in Claremont and runs off Elm Street. This morning, signs of the night's fire could be seen on the street outside, along with an investigation into its cause. New Hampshire State Fire Marshal James Degnan said in a press release this morning that it appears improper disposal of cigarettes or smoking materials may have led to the deadly blaze. Claremont Fire Chief Rick Bergeron tells YCN News that the man's name has not yet been officially released by state officials. Until then, YCN News will wait to release the name. Burglaries at a number of convenience stores along the I-89 corridor west of Concord marked the start of the work week. During the early morning hours of August 4, 2014, a number of convenience stores along the I-89 corridor were forcibly broken into, report New Hampshire State Police. These businesses were located in Hopkinton, Warner, New London, and Claremont. If anyone has information regarding these burglaries, they are encouraged to contact Trooper Micah Jones at 603-223-8496. New Hampshire and Vermont will each receive $1 million from the Federal Health and Human Services Department to support home visits. In all, about $106.7 million will be distributed to 46 states, the District of Columbia, and 5 other federal jurisdictions, says HHS Secretary Sylvie Burwell today. The award will allow health officials, including those in the Granite and Green Mountain states, to continue a program to get infants and young children off to the best start. The Maternal, Infant, and Early Childhood Home Visiting Program is a part of the nation's new medical insurance law, also known as the Affordable Care Act. Visits by trained healthcare providers to expectant and new parents up until the child is age 5 is voluntary. When YCN News returns, we'll continue with more news.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. New Hampshire lawmakers have not approved a bill to support casino gambling, but they have approved how to better regulate other forms of chance betting. And today in Concord, Governor Maggie Hassan signed into law House Bill 1630, a bill that regulates charity games of chance. The bill's purpose is to oversee the millions of dollars games like church basement bingos have already taken in, says Hassan. The bill was approved on a bipartisan vote and crafted in part by the state's Gaming Regulatory Oversight Authority. Federal emergency management teams will meet with Vermont state and local officials tomorrow to determine if parts of 2 Vermont counties qualify for federal aid. To qualify, the state's Windsor and Windham counties must exceed $1 million in total public infrastructure damages. For the county, that breaks down to nearly $199,000 for Windsor and $156,000 for Windham County. Heavy rains last week tore up roadways and damaged business settings. YCN News will update you as this determination continues. A burglary at the Jacksonville General Store along Route 100 in Vermont netted the suspect about $500 in merchandise, say police. Jacksonville is a village in Windham County. The forced break-in likely took place over the weekend, say police. Entry into the building was made through a first-floor window. Physical evidence was collected at the scene by state police. Anyone with information regarding this incident is asked to please contact the Vermont State Police. The number for the Brattleboro Police Barracks is 802-257-7101. We continue now with our exclusive interview with Jim Lawrence, Republican challenger to the seat of Ann McLean Custer in Congress. Joining me here is Jim Lawrence, who is running for Congress. And I wanted to ask you, what makes you run for Congress now?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me here today. The reason why I'm running for Congress, like my fellow candidates running, I served 3 terms in the New Hampshire State House. I'm also a veteran, small business owner, but I didn't hear the candidates in this race talking about the important issues to the voters of this state, like government accountability for the IRS, Veterans Administrations, illegal immigration. I didn't hear them talking about those issues that could beat Representative Ann Custer.
Mm-hmm. And what would you bring to this office?
Well, first of all, I bring not only my legislative experience, but also my life's experience. I'm hearing all over the state as I go to the coffee shops from Colebrook to Claremont that the people are concerned about someone in Congress representing them, representing the types of issues that they're going to be facing. I'm hearing that Representative Marilinda Garcia is a good candidate, but she doesn't have that life experience. She hasn't had to pay a mortgage, pay her property taxes, make considerations for how she's going to pay for her children's college tuition like I have. And I'm hearing that a candidate that's going to run for the office of Congress should be able to relate to the people of New Hampshire, and they should have suffer the consequences of the votes that they make in Washington. They should deal with the issues that they're voting on.
Now, when you're in office, how would you help locally people in District 2?
Well, I bring a lot of experience from legislative experience. Also, I'm a small business owner. I understand what the small business owner on Main Street, the challenges that they face day to day. That experience that I have is going to be vital for me to fight government bureaucracy, overtaxation of our small businesses that are just strangling small businesses and preventing our economy from growing.
Tell me a little bit about your experience locally and the state level in the government.
Well, I served 3 terms in the New Hampshire State House as a state legislator. That's 6 years of my life where I have a clear voting record that establishes that not only am I the only conservative in this race that has life experience, but I'm also a legislator that stands by my word. In other words, if I say that this is my position, that's how I vote. I have a consistent voting record for 3 terms in the state of New Hampshire.
And talking a lot about your life experience and how that is something that you can bring to your position. And this is a more personal question, but I know that your mother dealt with breast cancer in the past. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how that impacted your life?
Well, yes. Unfortunately, my mother did succumb to breast cancer when I was 22 years old. It was something that definitely had a tremendous impact on me. You know, the family banded together. I remember even trying to help my mother defray some of her medical costs at that time. And it really made me aware of some of the health issues that women face. So it had a dramatic impact on me from that perspective. It also made me want to serve more to try and make the community around me better.
Mm-hmm. And I know you were in the U.S. Air Force, you were mentioning. So can you tell me a little bit about that experience?
Absolutely. I actually had the benefit of going to the United States Air Force Academy. One of the best decisions I ever made. It was a great opportunity, wonderful education that I received there. And it also, you know, taught me service before self, and it was an opportunity for me to serve my country, which I'm very, very proud of.
So what do you see as the difference between you and the other candidates running?
Well, that's an excellent question. For one, like Senator Lampert, I also served in the military, and I appreciate his service to the country. But Senator Lampert and I differ greatly on the issues facing this country. He voted for RGGI, which is the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, which is an overregulation in the tax on energy that we can't afford. When I was in the State House, I did not support RGGI. Also, he voted for Common Core, which is a big bureaucratic Washington, D.C. Downward-directed educational curriculum forced down on local educators, and it's robbing us of our local communication, our local control over schools. One of my main campaign platforms is I'm not in support of Common Core. I want to repeal Common Core. So I'm working very hard to be the conservative grassroots choice of the people, unlike Senator Lampert. And as I stated earlier, Representative Marilinda Garcia, wonderful candidate. However, I'm hearing that she lacks the life experience. She hasn't had the benefit that I have of paying a mortgage, of paying property taxes, having children, dealing with children's educational decisions, serving her country as a veteran. And these are the experiences that I'm going to bring to bear down in Washington. These are the reasons why I believe I'm the only choice, the only conservative choice in this race that can beat Representative Ann Custer.
Great. And when is, you said September 9th is?
Yes, we're having a primary vote on September 9th. And I can give you my pledge that if I'm the nominee, I will defeat Representative Ann Custer and stop her support for 95% of Barack Obama's failed policies.
Great. Well, thank you for coming here today.
Thanks for having me.
Look to YCN News for additional election coverage of candidates running for state and national offices.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now, Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we'll have partly cloudy skies with fog coming in after midnight. Lows will be around 58 degrees with calm winds. Tomorrow morning will be foggy before 10 a.m. and we'll have a 30% chance of rain after 1 p.m. Skies will be mostly sunny with highs in the 80s and winds around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow night we'll have a chance of rain with cloudy skies and lows in the upper 50s. Wednesday we'll have a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high of 78 degrees. Skies will be mostly cloudy and winds are expected between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night will be cloudy with a low of 56 degrees. As you can see, there are some storms near our region. We may feel the effects of the storms for the next couple of days. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow in Vermont, the Brattleboro Select Board will meet at 6 p.m. In New Hampshire, Music in the Meadow will take place in Grantham's Pavilion in the Park at 6 p.m. In Canaan, New Hampshire, Woodchuck's Revenge will be in the town gazebo at 7 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. Now it's time for some Fisher Cats updates from the past few days. Last Friday, the Fisher Cats dominated in a 5-2 win against Reading. Immediately after, they won again in a makeup game against Reading with a 9-2 score. Saturday saw the Fisher Cats face a tough loss with Reading. The final score resulted in a 14-3 loss. Then the Fisher Cats regained strength on Sunday with a 7-1 win. Tonight, the Fisher Cats are resting for a 3-game series with Erie starting at 7:05 p.m. YCN will bring you the results from these games.
Thanks, Matt. When YCN News continues, we'll hear from Capital Connections' John O'Connor, who met with New Hampshire Representative Tom Schamberg.
The YCN News continues in a moment.